So I'm going to be answering questions 1, 2, 4, and 8. I couldn't really come up with an answer for question number 9. I couldn't quite understand the social justice of education, so I didn't want to make an answer and essentially be wrong. I don't know. I couldn't think of an answer for question 9 without it sounding dumb to me. So question 1, what is identity? Identity is essentially the individual characteristics, family dynamics, historical factors, or social political context that help you understand the concept of who essentially you are as a person and what makes you you. So my own personal identity is green eyes, glasses, blonde hair. I'm smart and funny, but ditzy at times. I'm introverted. Others would say that I'm also green eyes, blonde hair. I have blonde moments, but they said that I'm extroverted, overly dramatic, I'm loving, and I also put others before myself. And then how would our authors explain your response to your important and most noticed identities? Don't know how to answer that because I don't know what the authors might say. So I don't know. Question 2. Discuss the differences between domination and subordination. Domination is basically having control over someone or something else. Subordination is the position of being under control. Under what circumstances does it occur? It can occur anywhere. I mean, the classroom, the professor has control over the students. He says what they need to do and they do it. The hospital is the same way. The doctors and nurses tell us what to do, what to take, and we end up either doing it and taking it or not doing it and taking it and essentially either getting sick or dying. Household, the parents have the control over the kids. I mean, we do exactly what our parents say, and if we don't, there's consequences towards it. How does it work? I mean, domination I feel like domination people have more power, so they have more like stern like action in their voice, and so it makes us feel like we're trying to be controlled by them. What are the consequences? The only consequences that I feel like I came up with was if the dominant person makes the subordinate do something that we're not supposed to do, and so essentially they'll just get in trouble and the dominant will blame it on the subordinate and life will go on. That's the only consequence that I can think of. Question 4. In what ways can or do identities and social occasions conflict with one another? So, I mean, the only locations that I thought of on the top of my head, because it's so late, is a church, a school, and a courtroom, maybe. You're essentially passing judgments on someone that you're seeing. You're not actually getting to know the person's identity, so you're just assuming that in the courtroom he or she, because they're up there trying to get convicted or not convicted, you're passing judgments of what you see and what you've heard, than rather knowing exactly why they're there and understanding exactly who that person is. Same in the church. Like, some church won't allow some people to go into the church. You're just passing judgment on what's on the outside, not actually understanding, like, hey, just because that's a different skin tone doesn't mean that they have the same religion or same beliefs as we do. Same with the school. I mean, kids in this generation are now passing judgments on the look. Like, if you're not skinny, you can't sit with us. If you don't have the same skin tone, I mean, granted, now it's gotten a lot better, but I still think that it's still there and it's still conflicting with everything and everywhere, actually. Especially now that social media is out there, it makes it the worst. Like, especially with the news, like, they over exaggerate on everything that's not white. I mean, I'm not trying to be racist, but I'm just saying, like, the news over exaggerates everything that's not the normal in our social environment, so it makes it more, like, real, like, more out there. Question 8. In what ways has oppression functioned in multiple dimensions and at multiple levels in your own life or the lives of your loved ones? The only thing that I could think of in, like, for examples is when my mom and my dad went through the divorce. My dad was very, how can I say this? Not observant of what my mother was actually doing, until, like, I was 15, I think. And he finally, like, saw exactly what she was doing. And so I kind of felt like I was oppressed because I couldn't tell him, because if I told him, then he wouldn't believe me because he didn't see it. But everyone else saw it. And so I just felt, like, oppressed that I couldn't do it. And then once I finally told him during the divorce what was actually going on, then he was like, why didn't you tell me beforehand? And I told him why, and he goes, well, I don't want you to feel that way. And then during the divorce, the judge kind of made me feel oppressed a little bit, because he, like, essentially told me that I had to choose one or the other, that I can't have both. And I don't know. And then I had to make the decision for me and my brother. And so I'm like, oh, well, if I make the wrong decision, then I'm essentially screwing over my brother too, not just me. Like, I'm essentially having another life in my hands that I have control over, even though it's not my life to have control over. But on the other hand, like, I understood that the judge made me do it because I was the older one and that I needed to pass judgment of what was best for me and my brother, not just myself. Um, so, I mean, that was kind of multiple levels because I had to choose for someone else as well. So it was chaotic. And then for number 9, like I said, I couldn't think of anything. I don't know. I have no idea how to answer this one. Like, I might have to reread it and then figure it out, and I'll comment and I'll probably get deduct points, but I honestly cannot answer it for the life of me at this moment. So that's it.